Okay, you're back with Poppy. You're in Poppy's house. We about to have a good time because tonight for supper we are making sweet and sour chicken with white rice. Oh my goodness. And no, this is leaning more towards the Polynesian flavor rather than the Asian flavor, although they both kind of have some of the same background, but this is my take on it, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight because this is a lot of fun to make. And I used to do this way back when I was catering events. I would do sweet and sour mushrooms and sweet and sour chicken. It was a great way to bring a little bit of flavor into an event, and so I still do this at home. I've kind of toned this down for myself. So in just a moment, I'm going to come back and we will give you ingredients. But first, thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Don't think I didn't notice it. I did. And I appreciate it. So thank you for dropping in. We'll look at these ingredients and we will come right back together momentarily. I appreciate you and I want to thank you for dropping by. All right, so for our ingredients, this is super simple. This is a simple weeknight dinner that you can pull together. It doesn't take very much effort at all, and really any kind of chicken that you have will work with this. If you already have cooked chicken, like a rotisserie chicken or that kind of thing, you can use that. I just got some simple chicken tenderloins here, and I will pan sear those with a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic to prepare them beforehand. I'll make some white rice. I've got my rice cooker out there so that we can let that cook in the background while we're doing what we're gonna do. Ingredients for the sweet and sour chicken. I have a can of pineapple chunks, pineapple juice. I have a green bell pepper. I have 2 jalapeno peppers that we will chop and de-seed. I've got white rice. This is basically a complement to go with it. I've got some chicken broth back there. I've got an onion. I have white sugar and brown sugar. I have cayenne pepper. I have cornstarch, and I have Tony Chacher's Cajun Creole seasoning. I love it. I put it in a lot of stuff. We'll get started on vegetable prep and get started on this rice momentarily, so stay tuned. All right, so in this recipe, rice is the base, and you definitely want to make sure that you make your rice in such a way that it is flavorful. Nobody needs a flat, dead rice. So I'm adding 1.5 cups of long grain white rice to my rice cooker, and to that, I'm going to add 3 cups of water. Double the quantity of water to your quantity of rice. Okay, so to this, I'm adding about 3.5 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to use this combination seasoning. This is Paula Deen's house seasoning, which is salt, pepper, and garlic. You can find the recipe online, but I'm going to use about, I'm going to say maybe 3 teaspoons of this into my mix. I'm going to get a nice stirring implement here and give it a stir just so everything is well mixed in. You definitely don't want to serve bland rice. It's gross. So that's the way we begin it. Now I always use my steamer basket in the top of my rice cooker so that we don't get a boil over. And now I'm going to turn it on, set it for white rice, and in about a half hour or so, we'll have some beautiful white rice while I'm putting together the ingredients for the chicken. All right, so I'm using chicken tenders. And if you know anything about chicken tenders, you know that they have this really thick membrane inside of them. And so the trick that I use with that is I grab the end of that membrane with a paper towel, just like so. I hook that fork around the chicken portion, and then I just pull that membrane right out, and it comes right out of your chicken. So that is the easiest way to get that membrane out. You just, I don't even see the membrane on that one. We'll have to find it. All right, let's find a different one. Here's your membrane. Grab it with a paper towel, hook it with a fork, and it will pull right out of the chicken. Just a little bit of effort. So that's the easiest way to get that membrane out, and nobody really likes that in the chicken tenders. So if you're able to get that out, that works out pretty good. Makes life easier for those that are anti-membrane. I know that I am anti-membrane. Anyway, we'll take care of that, get these in the pan. I will season them up with salt, pepper, and garlic, and we'll proceed on to preparing our veggies. All right, so we got our chicken cooking here. And basically what I want to do is just get a good sear on it all the way around. So I am going to allow that to cook. I'm going to use, again, my salt, pepper, and garlic blend. And we're just going to sprinkle it over this chicken. Nice good season. And we will give her the old flipperoo. Nice. All right. Chicken all around. Want it nice and brown and beautiful. You know, if you had chicken breasts, you can, you know, cube that up into, you know, 1-inch cubes and pan sear it that way. But basically, this chicken, it needs to be browned. It doesn't need to be fully cooked because I'm going to be putting it in my sauce and letting it stew for a little while. So, you know, I like to brown it. I like it to look nice. But, you know, you don't have to go crazy with it. So, all right. Those have been in there last time, you can tell. You know, they're shredded a little bit, but that's okay because I'll probably cut them up anyway. I just wanted kind of a cheaper cut of chicken that I could get. It's £1.50 for, you know, a few bucks. Not bad. So, anyway, we'll keep browning this. When we come back, I will have this out of the pan. We will begin to look at preparing the veg. All right, so I got my bell pepper. Actually, I've already diced up my onion, and we're not going to go crazy with it. Just try to avoid keeping the seeds out of the bell pepper here. But basically, just a big dice on the onion. It doesn't have to be like finely diced, unless you like it that way. I mean, you be you, boo-boo. You do you. Be happy. The chicken is all fried up. Not a problema. I like to use every last bit of this bell pepper. It's, you know, there. Might as well chop it up and eat it because it's available. So I'll do a heavy dice on the bell pepper, and it doesn't matter about, you know, which pile it goes in. It's all going in at the same time, same drink. Not that big a deal. So quickly dice it up, a rough dice on the bell pepper. Give it a turn. Big chunks. It's kind of like what I like in this particular dish. Now this, I don't really like all that membrane, so I'll cut some of that out, get the seeds out of there. Get a seed or two, not a big deal. Just shall give it a good chopperoo. Watch your fingers. I cut badly. I've been told that my whole life. I don't care. You know, one day I'm going to cut my finger off, then I'll stop cooking, quit bugging y'all. Doesn't much matter, I guess. All right. Chop it away. The last ones are the jalapenos. Now, the way I do those, I cut them down the center. The really hot part of the jalapeno is the seed. So, basically what I do is I use a spoon and I go inside that. I try to avoid getting as much of that on my hands as is possible and just kind of get that membrane and all the seeds out of the jalapeno. I'm doing two because people around here kind of like things spicy, so we're going to do it that way. But we're going to do those the same way. Just dice them up, and I may make them a slightly different size because, you know, I want them to be able to distinguish when they're eating a jalapeno versus a bell pepper. I suppose I could have gotten red bell pepper, and then they would have known for sure, but yeah, I'm a cheapskate, so that's all right. We're going with the green because that's what you can get for cheap, baby. You know what I mean? All right, here we go. All right. Hope you can see this. I'm getting it all out, and if you can't, then I'll just leave this whole part of the video out, and you won't have to worry about it. All right, so got our jalapenos. Going to move all of that over a little bit. Basically, when I'm doing the jalapenos, I'm just going to cut those into little strips like so, and just dice them up a little bit smaller than the bell pepper. Not a really big deal, and it happens pretty quickly. So once we get all of this diced up, and I'm not going to keep you here while I'm cutting up vegetables, I will go back to the pan. One thing that I failed to mention, I do add minced garlic to this, and I don't have fresh cloves, but I do have like the jar of minced garlic, so I will use that, and we'll add minced garlic to the mix. If you're cutting jalapeno peppers, please do me a favor and wash your hands with just a little bit of vinegar and some soap to cut the oils, the capsaicins that will get on your hands, because if you don't, you're going to forget it, you're going to wipe your nose, or you're going to touch your eyes, and then you're going to have to put milk in your eyes to stop the burning, because it's pretty tragically bad. So, at any rate, we cut these up. In just a moment, we'll come back together and take a look at frying it all right, so here we go. I'm using the chicken pan just like it is. All them chicken drippings and the whole bit is up in there. So, yeah, I don't discriminate. And I'm going to add these beautiful peppers, the jalapeno, the green bell, and the onion. And what we're going to do is saute these until they get nice and soft. And then we will add our garlic for just a moment. And we'll show you how we're going to thicken this up and make an amazing sauce for our sweet and sour chicken. Woo-hoo. All right, so we've let those cook down just a little bit. First things first, I'm gonna do probably about 3 or 4 cloves of minced garlic, and I'm doing it from the jar. It's gonna be kind of loud, I'm sorry. Yes. I only wanna do this long enough for this to get fragrant. You don't wanna burn the garlic, okay? These onions are nice and pretty and brown and caramelized. I'm gonna go ahead and take a 20-ounce can of chunk pineapple and pour it right in the mix. It is so divine. If there was any part of that pan that was not deglazed, that pineapple juice will help do that. Next thing's next. If you notice, that's already boiling. All right, now we're gonna eyeball the chicken stock, and this is not opening well for me, so let me get that open. Same cup measure. I'm going to go with about a cup of, well, chicken broth, not stock. About a cup of chicken broth, and that should cut the boil just a little bit. We'll give that a nice little womp womp. All right, while we're getting back to temp, I'm going to go ahead and add some more salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Not too much, but enough so that we're going to taste all of this. I want these flavorings to kind of marry a little bit. And I've got my Tony Chatters, and one of the reasons you don't want to go too heavy on the salt is because, you know, there is salt in that Tony's if you use that. If you don't, if that's not your ball game, then you're good. I'm going to turn that down just a little. Now I'm going to add just a hint of cayenne pepper, because everything's a little better with some cayenne pepper, if you know what I mean. All right, now that's got a nice low rolling boil on it, and that's exactly what we want. All right, I'm going to go with a 1/4 cup of white sugar, and all the diabetics said, oh no. And if that's not making bad worse or adding insult to injury, we're going with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, because I can. Yes. All right, stir it in there real good, and already I want to just climb in and take a bath. That's how good it is. Now, what you didn't see, I have a 1/4 cup of cornstarch stirred into a cup of pineapple juice. And we are going to, now when I say pineapple juice, I mean store-bought jarred pineapple juice. And I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. That cornstarch is your thickening agent. So we will stir this in, and when it comes to a boil again, this sauce is going to get delicious, thick, and juicy. Now, if you like it thicker, you have to add more cornstarch. That is the way you go it. So, but basically, I want a sauce thick enough that when I pour this over my rice, it's just gonna tell me the news. You know what I mean? There is really no limitation to what you can add to this. You can add a little more butter if you like it a little more buttery. You could add more sugar if you like it sweeter. You can add more salt if you like it more heavily seasoned. Completely up to you. But with jalapeno and Tony's and a little bit of cayenne pepper, we should be good enough on a little bit of heat. Now, my daughter will probably still add something to it. Now, our chicken breast. This is actually tenderloins, but that's okay. Chicken breast tenderloins, and I'm gonna put them in there with the juice and all, and we're gonna let those cook in. And this is the way we're doing sweet and sour chicken tonight. So, very nice. Stir it in, and then we're gonna turn this burner down to like a medium heat, and we're gonna let this simmer for about 20 minutes. When our rice is done, we'll make a nice salad. We'll be ready to plate this up. And let me just tell you, like, as somebody that can do this, like, I can taste this. Oh yeah. I encourage you to taste your food as you go along, so that's exactly what you want it to be when you taste it. The longer this cooks down, the more those jalapenos will cook in and make that nice spicy flavor. I may still add some more spice because I don't think the people in my life are going to think it's spicy enough, but I think it's really good. And we'll be ready to plate it up and show you what it looks like in just a few minutes. So don't go away. Okay, so supper's ready. you're gonna see it here first, because I'm gonna give it a try. It's probably too spicy for me, but that's okay, because everybody else in the house likes it spicy. So I'll just suffer and cry while I enjoy eating every bite of this sweet and sour chicken. Wow. I'm telling you, if I cry just now, it'll be because of the spice, not because it's not good. So we're gonna give it a shot, but here's my piece of chicken. We've got this situated on a perfect little bed of rice. Look at that. It's so hot. So hot. Burning my brains, but it's good. So, okay, so y'all, that's an easy one. It's super easy. If you want the recipe, leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll put it down in the description for you, or I'll send it to you, whatever you need, because you want to try it. It's really good. It's a great weeknight meal, especially good in the summertime, but this is a really nice one because you don't have to really think about it. Thanks for dropping by Pop's Place on this lovely weeknight for a weeknight dinner, and at some point this week, I'm going to do pinto beans the old-fashioned way. We're going to soak those beans down, and we're going to let them get all poofy, and then we're going to cook them the right way, y'all. I've seen a lot of different people cook them a lot of different ways, but I want to do it the right way for you. And that'll be some more rice too, because pintos and rice and cornbread, that's kind of like a staple I grew up with. So we'll give that a try. Like, subscribe, share the love, tell your friends about Pop's Place. We want you to be part of this community. We want you in the mix. So definitely do that. You can visit popsplace.life on the web, or you can visit our Facebook page. All of that information will be down in the description. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and we look forward to talking to you